Magic lives in the very fabric of nature. Eventually the answers will come.
Fate the Winx Saga was a very bold series put on Netflix for various reasons. Not the least of which was the fact that the series was based on an incredibly popular Italian cartoon and turned into a live-action sword and sorcery series for Netflix. That's quite a leap, as some would say. But the show has done well on Netflix, and as such, even with certain controversy surrounding it, fans are eager to see what the show can deliver in Season 2. But what is there to expect? How can things build upon what Season 1 did? Allow us to show you 6 things to expect in Fate the Winx Saga Season 2. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 6. The casting controversy. Let's start off with something that many fans hope will change in certain ways in Season 2. You see, the showrunner for Fate the Winx Saga obviously knew about the Italian cartoon that inspired the show, but if you go and look at the animation for the popular series, while it was very flashy and shiny and eye-catching, he knew that it wouldn't exactly be something replicable in terms of matching the looks of the characters and turning them into live-action people. Mainly because they looked like Disney princess bodies with anime eyes. Which is a fair thing to say, and why many live-action adaptations of things don't always go full-on accurate with their renderings of the characters. So Brian Young basically threw out those templates and went from scratch, because he knew that in the 21st century, things could be much different than the standard gender roles. Which is great to hear, but the show almost was DOA because of a certain change in the characters. How so? Well, if you look at the cartoons and the people that play them, you'll notice a certain Hollywood trend in regards to whitewashing. Fans of the cartoon, and just the people looking at the show in general, called that out, and it was a big deal. With Season 2 coming, this is apparently going to be addressed, but it definitely caused some drama, despite the showrunner trying to change how certain things are looked. This is a big topic in our world right now, as diversity is needed across all mediums, and Netflix is usually really good about that. But this is one where they should have intervened more because of the problems it caused. Number 5. Season 2 Renewal. Given the grand nature of the series, and the fact that it only had 6 episodes in its premiere season, one had to wonder whether Fate the Winx Saga would get renewed. Well, in February, it did indeed get the nod from Netflix, and apparently, Season 2 has already started filming. Brian Young, the showrunner if you recall, alongside executive producers Judy Cunningham, and Chris Thykier of Archery Pictures, and Joanne Lee, and Christiana Buzelli from Rainbow, were all very excited about this and had a lot to say on the matter. The 6 episodes in Season 1 only scratched the surface of this incredibly rich world and the powerful fairies who inhabit it, Young said. As Bloom's story continues to evolve, I can't wait for you to learn even more about Aisha, Stella, Tara, and Musa. And you never know who might show up at Althea next term, added Straffi. Winx connects with audiences in the live-action adaptation the same way it does in animation. Over the years, we have seen Winx grow into a global phenomenon, and millions of fans have faithfully followed the show. Indeed, and that's why many are wondering what is going to come next with the show's 2nd season, as there's a lot of potential to explore and mysteries to solve. Number 4. The potential plot of Season 2. Bloom and company defeat some of the burned ones in the Fate the Winx Saga Season 1 finale, and it's revealed that the forest baddies were never really a huge threat at all. As it turns out, Rosalind had been plotting all along and needed to test out Bloom's skills via a select group of burned ones for future war against said burned ones. According to the new headmistress. It's, a lot more. Let's just leave it at that. Rosalind eventually kills Dowling via a nasty neck snap, and assumes control at Althea College. Meanwhile, Queen Luna, Stella's mother, shows up and reveals that Sky's father, a famous war hero, never actually died and has been training Beatrix. Now that Bloom has informed her adoptive parents about her powers, she can more confidently move forward with her life as a rather powerful fairy in Fate the Winx Saga Season 2. In fact, it's her strength alone that the burned ones fear the most. Moving forward, new episodes will likely explore the revised power dynamics at Althea College, and whether or not the fairies and specialists will rebel against Headmistress Rosalind. Expect Sky to emerge as a prominent character in Fate the Winx Saga Season 2, as he and Bloom could potentially lead a mini-revolution against the adults who misled them. Teenage rebellion. Isn't it grand? Number 3. Wings. In the Fate universe, fairies have lost the ability to fully transform, meaning that outside of the fact that they have powers, they are indistinguishable from humans. In the final boss battle of the season, Bloom takes on a swarm of burned ones, and in the midst of confrontation, she sprouts large flaming wings. We know Bloom is special, but the ability to transform means she is tapping into magic older and more powerful than fairies have been able to access for a while. In Season 2, we could learn more about who or what Bloom is, and possibly unlock the key to transformation for the rest of the Winx squad. If you recall, a key part of the Winx cartoon is that they regularly transform into fairies. It's easy to understand why Fate decided to tone this down. Mainly CGI costs, no doubt. But as time goes on, fans are going to want to see the full versions of the fairies in the club. Number 2. Power. In the world of Fate, fairies have natural manipulation over individual elements like fire, water, earth, and more. And those powers often reflect the personalities of the fairy who wields them. Bloom wields fire. Aisha, Precious Mustafa, wields water. Tara, Elliot Salt, wields earth. Musa, Elish Applebaum, is an empath. She delves into minds. Stella, Hannah van der Westhuizen, controls light. And Beatrix, Sadie Soverall, wields air. Individually, the fairies are powerful, but what happens if they use their powers in tandem? Rosalind, Leslie Sharp, showed that powers can be combined to create a strong magical force when she and Ms. Dowling, Eve Best, Silva, Robert James Collier, Professor Harvey, Alex McQueen, and Andreas, Ken Dukin, used their collective power to destroy the otherworld city of Astrodel. The Winx Club have all the tools to do the same, but they haven't as of yet. Part of the show is the club going and growing their abilities, so perhaps in the hopefully longer Season 2, they'll be able to use their abilities together and create even more powerful magic. Number 1. What the cast wants. Here's a fun twist for you. While many fans have their own desires and expectations for the show, what about the cast? What do they hope happens in Season 2 that is filming right now? Abigail Cowen, Bloom. I'd like to see Bloom really come into her power and be more confident in who she is. I'd love to see her be even more powerful than she was in the first season. I think that would be really fun to play as an actor and to see in Bloom. Danny Griffin, Sky. I would definitely like to see him take control and take initiative really in his story, and take control of his life. He sort of is a bit pushed around because he's doing things for other people and not really for himself. Sky's presumed dead father returned when Rosalind takes over Althea, so Sky will have to grapple with what that means for himself and his relationship with Silva, who raised him. I would love for him to take up the reins a little bit and do things for himself, but still keep the kindness and the love that he has towards others. Hannah van der Westhuizen, Stella. I think it would be such an exciting opportunity for Stella to really stand up to her mom and fight back. I'd love to see her getting her hands dirty and actually getting involved in the physical fights. Stella has light powers which, among other things, allow for her to manipulate what people see. Using that power to hide her side from enemies is one way Stella could be in the action. I want her out of this love triangle. Let's get her back to more important things. Elliot Salt, Tara. My main wishes for Tara and for the show are number 1, we need to get Flora in. I hope Tara gets some screen time with her cousin. Fans of the Winx animated series, who are hoping to see the Latina fairy in live action, would likely agree. I'd quite like Tara to have a successful romance. I trust that she's going to get involved in the fights. She's got that covered, but she needs some good news in the romance department. She had a real bummer in the first season. You might just get your wish. You never know how Season 2 will expand things. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Fate the Winx Saga, and all that might happen in Season 2, as well as what needs to be answered in Season 2? Do you think that some of the things put forth could really come true in Season 2? What plot threads and character developments do you want to see in the second season that's coming? Do you hope to expand upon the mythology more to reflect its origins? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.